Hello and welcome everyone to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black and this is my first 15 with Gear Up, an indie vehicular combat game recently released into free-to-play early access upon Steam, and which I've rather high hopes for, given my predilection for this particular genre, that of modular vehicular combat, the likes of Robocraft. And this seems to take a little bit more of an HD high-poly graphical fidelity step forward from Robocraft's voxel-style graphics. And before we jump into a match, let's have a quick dive into the settings menu. The display options offer the usual gamut of must-haves when it comes to contemporary FPS and other sorts of high-response, high-fidelity combat games, and I've only noticed one little issue when it comes to the responsiveness of these settings. The audio sliders are, for whatever reason, very non-responsive. I can almost never drag these around. It took me a good 10 minutes attempting this over and over again to drag them into the proper place to balance the audio for the recording of this episode, and I don't know what would really cause that. It's just an odd little bug in the menu. I've tried using arrow keys, W, A, S, and D, dragging it with a mouse, and the mouse drag is the only thing that really works, so I can forgive that very easily, given that the game is, once again, in early access, and so not exactly finished, still in a state of constant update, flux, and fix, but that's definitely a bug that needs noting. So, let us have a quick look very quickly at the parts. I do believe, yes, I read on the game's Steam description that one gains additional part slots to customize one's vehicle with as one gains levels, and that premium users essentially get an infinite inventory storage. So I don't know exactly how critical that is going to become, if at all, or if it's more or less a matter of convenience. However, the game boasts over 1 million combinations, much the way that Borderlands promised millions upon millions of gun not customization, but randomizations in its weapons. So I definitely have very high hopes for the sort of customizable combat quality that I very often get the itch to enjoy in this game. So, let's have a quick look at the parts store. I've got 5G. I'm assuming those are going to be gear points, gear gold, or just gold, I'm not sure. I can buy now. I assume this will actually show up in my recording for the buy now button. All that's really bringing me up is, yeah, the ability to buy either basic or premium membership with the game. So I'm assuming that that's really the only benefit to the premium benefit. There may be some XP boosts inherent to it as well, but it seems as though it's really an incentive to just be able to store more parts, and that I don't see an in-game versus paid currency, so I think these gear points are the in-game currency, and that I could actually afford a new piece right now. It seems most of these are only 5, at least a good number of them are. So I will deal with that probably after I've conducted a match. And speaking of, let us do so. Wait, no. I probably need to build a vehicle first, even though I've got what looks like an example right here. Can I recolor it? Because I really don't want to be green. Ooh. Oh yes. Can I, what? Oh, come on. Wait, buy now. Aw, man, I don't want to buy paint. Well, I can't. Why are you bringing me here, game? That doesn't make any sense. Don't do that. I don't know what you want from me, game. Why do you want me to buy things that aren't on the page that your buy now button brings up? Okay, never mind. How about... Okay, I don't know what that did. Do I have 3 pre-slot sets? I'm usually very fond of minimalistic HUDs and UIs and menus, but this is not giving me quite enough information. So, I'm assuming that any other parts I get will show up within this otherwise rather large gray box, and that I can then pick them from there. So, the only thing really eluding me right now is what to make exactly of the color customization options, because the only option that I can actually click on, other than going back to part selection, is the buy now button for the paint, and that just brings me back to the game's Steam page. And obviously there aren't individual bits to buy on the game's Steam page. It's not exactly an a la carte DLC selection, so I don't know what you want from me, game. I don't know if that's a feature that has yet to be fully implemented or what, but I'm just gonna work with what I've got for now, and maybe it will clarify itself later. So let's search for a game. Let's see, we've got Deathmatch, Conquest, Deathmatch again, Team Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch. Oh, are those matches in progress? I'm assuming so. Yes, they must be, because more of them are showing up. Alright then, I suppose I will jump into a rather low-ranked match of deathmatch. Can I do that? Yes, good. So, start? Yes, connecting. Alright. Again, I could definitely do with a bit more information on the menus right now. It just kind of leads me to make assumptions. And that's incredibly loud! Okay. Alright, the audio balancing needs a bit of attention. Can I please get the audio to work for me right now? I would love... No, come on, come on, come on. Audio! Okay, I've adjusted the audio via my own PC mixer because this menu is absolutely, completely, 110% broken. So, good God, Dr. Entertainment, fix your audio settings immediately because that is unacceptable. Now then, since I can actually hear, let's actually dive in. Are these little combat power-up, pick-up things? Wow, this is like snappy response. I like this. Very responsive. This could lead to some satisfyingly quick-paced combat. Okay. And it's definitely classically tanky controls, considering the tracks will essentially rotate in place as one goes. And I don't know exactly who my enemies are. I'm assuming he's a friendly. Either that or no one is. I forgot whether or not I'm in Team Deathmatch or General Deathmatch. Yep, I think it's General Deathmatch. Die, die, die! I killed Russian Pipsik. I'm sorry. I usually like my Russian crowd. Alright, what are you? Are you an attack power-up of some kind? I don't know what these things I'm getting are doing. I really don't. And I don't recall noting any kind of tutorial, so I'm kind of diving in the deep end and making the best with what I can figure out. Okay, now, on to more critical commentary. It seems as though the visuals are quite well refined. I like the shadows, I like the shading. The models are, damn, nice and high quality. And the maps themselves are actually quite sizable. And it seems as though there's a very quick recycle upon match times. I like that. Keeps the game rolling, keeps things quick-paced, keeps one engaged. No need to linger upon lengthy... Oh god, nice hovercraft, buddy. Lengthy loading screens. Am I gonna die? Is I accidental? Did I kill myself by ramming into that guy? I kind of think I did. Okay then. Oh, that wasn't a match end time. That was the respawn counter. I get it. Okay. Alright. Why did I just turn invisible? Thank you, camera, for kind of freaking me out. Alright then, now what does right-click do? Right-click doesn't seem to do much of anything right now. You're tiny! You're adorable! And very dangerous, considering you're such a small target. Oh, you're flipping into the ground. That's why. Okie dokie then. So, as I mentioned before, damn. I rather like these modular vehicular combat games that allow one to completely customize one's own unit. And the only concern that I ever have for games like this, especially when there are so many options, is that the more options that are present, the more moving parts, essentially, the higher the risk of balance becoming a rather severe concern. And it's far too early to tell in both the game's design and development, and in my own experience with it, to comment one way or another upon whether or not balance is currently a problem, or indeed ever will be with this game, but it is something to note when it comes to the genre in general, that it can be, I'm on a roll, a bit difficult sometimes to keep straight exactly where a hard and fast advantage might lie in terms of part selection, and to account for it on the developer's end. Because this guy seems to be wrecking face, and I'm not entirely sure how the matchmaker, if any, really works in this game. It seems as though I was sort of my own matchmaker in that the matches in progress showed a average gear level selection, I believe it was, or at least mech level, and I more or less had to just kind of gauge whether or not I could survive against such opponents. And so I'm not sure whether or not there are any plans to implement a proper matchmaker in the future, or if it's going to be more of an elective risk-reward sort of system. At the moment, I suspect the current multiplayer matchmaker and lobby selection system may very well be a placeholder. I kind of hope so. But, even so, the fact that one is given the information to make one's own educated decisions about which matches to join does lend the game a bit of a if you do poorly, it's your own damn fault sort of quality, which I don't always resent at all, considering I like games that respect my ability to make my own judgment calls, and a system like this does do that. Now then, what rewards did I receive? Nope, never mind. Apparently we don't go to a reward screen, we just go straight back into a match. As I mentioned before, I actually kind of like that. I might like a quick pop-up to let me know what my rewards were, but again, kind of like the old days of Unreal Tournament. There is something to be said for getting quickly recycled back into a match to keep one engaged, to keep one from sort of stagnating in one's attention, and just keep on playing. It's a matter of attention retention. And I kind of suspect I might be alone right now, because I don't see anybody. Oh, okay, one can see in a match that's already in progress what one has earned by holding down tab and noting that top right box. Yeah, I think I'm alone. Usually holding down tab will bring up in most games a list of who is active on each team, and because I neither see nor hear any attention, I'm going to assume I've been abandoned and leave this particular game and now at least go check what I've earned. So, on to the parts store. I've now got 6 gear points. Okay, so it seems as though one gains them rather slowly. However, given the fact that parts seem not to cost very much, I don't think that's necessarily too much of a bad thing. It seems as though a few matches even might earn one enough points to get a new part, and so I like that. That's a good accrual rate that there doesn't necessarily need to be a steady grind for, considering there isn't any microtransactions present within the game right now, so it's good that the game doesn't just arbitrarily require one to grind for ages upon ages to unlock things with in-game currency. I like that about it. So, the one thing I really want to make sense of is whether or not I was just getting an error before with the build option, or if there really is a way to customize one's paint job. I really hope there is, because why else would these little color swatches be here if one couldn't select them? I really hope there's a way to make use of this. Can I buy now? No, that just brings this up. Are color swatch selections a benefit available only to those on either a basic or premium account, I wonder? The menu doesn't tell me one way or another. And so I would like some clarification in the comments if either the devs or any of you guys are aware. Do let me know, and anyone else who watches this, let them know in the comments below, because I'm very dreadfully curious about that. And I think, as brief as this has been, I've kind of covered the very basic bases of the game. I'm going to wrap this particular episode here and likely conduct a round 2 or 3 in the near future, once I've learned a little bit more and clarify things for you all as well as for myself. And I will attempt to learn a bit more of the nuance of this game when it comes to resource accrual and how one should actually go about matches. I do want to have one quick look very quickly, though, at how many people seem to really be online with this at one time. I mentioned before, the game is free to play and it is in early access, so it should be enjoying a fair amount of attention. And it seems as though right now there are only a few dozen people online. I really hope that the game enjoys a greater attention than it seems to be receiving currently, because I see a very large potential here for a strong contender against games like Robocraft, which is one of my favorite games to play in downtime when I really want to play something that's modular that I can customize and just kind of go into a relaxing FPS zen mode with something that I've created. I really enjoy that particular genre of games, as few games as there are within that respective subgenre of FPS titles, and I could easily see this earning a place amongst the other games that I really enjoy playing in it. However, I can, just like Air Buccaneers, only do so much with it if its community never really gives it a shot to begin with. So I hope this game gets a bit more attention. Hopefully my spotlight will give it a little bit of a boost of attention. But until then, I'm Mr. Black here at Last Level Press. As always, I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed. Yuri, no, you're not of the Gagarin variety. No! No! You're not the Gagarin variety, you can do this, Yuri. I believe in you. I have all the faith in all of the worlds in you!